Today I'm standing on the River Rhone, which starts from the Swiss Alps flowing through Switzerland into France. Switzerland is strategically placed in Europe with Germany and Austria on its northeast side and France and Italy on its southwest side. And as I was traveling here, thinking about the rich history of Switzerland, I started to think back to World War II, when Switzerland was surrounded with the conflict with Hitler and Germany and Mussolini and Italy and the conflicts with France and the rest of Europe. But somehow Switzerland was able to stay out of the conflict, and they survived. They were geographically positioned in a place of much conflict, and yet they stood strong. And when they came out of the war, they became known as the place where we now have our peace treaties and peace conventions, and they represent peace to the rest of the world. And I started thinking about how God placed Obadiah in Ahab's palace to be a servant during a very turbulent time. And what did he do? As a devout believer, he still had to stand for God. And so he hid those 100 prophets in a cave, in 2 caves actually, while standing for God, while still being a servant to Ahab. And I started thinking about how God also positions us in unusual places for His divine purposes. He knows the set times for us to live on the kingdom calendar, what years, what generation He's going to place us in, and He designates the places for us to live so that we too might fulfill His kingdom purposes. So today we're going to dive into the rest of the story and what happened next with Elijah and that Mount Carmel showdown. Join me as we dive in for another day of Bible study.